In the NFC, Philadelphia looks terrific. The Cowboys just absolutely turned Jeff Saturday into, what would you say, Jeff yesterday? I mean, and
Jeff Wednesday.
His trouble seems so far away.
And, the rest of the conference, the Vikings needed to pull one out at the very last second, a couple of goal line stands against Mike White and the Jets, but they're 10-2. They are what they are. The Lions did not roll over. They haven't rolled over, so the division is still up in the air, and they face each other next week. This is going to be a playoff home game for the Vikings for sure. Who knows what's coming out of the South? The Giants, the Seahawks, the Commanders, can they make a run and maybe win a playoff game? I think so. You never know what can be done. But it really is a more top-heavy conference than the AFC. And there's the 49ers sitting there at 8-4. Beating the Miami Dolphins yesterday, even though on 2 snaps of the football, they gave up 2 touchdowns. The first one of the game where Sherfield took it 75 yards, and then in the second half, the first points the 49ers defense have given up in the second half in over a month when Tyreek Hill scored. And that was about it. The Niners defense did its job the rest of the day, and for the second time this year, they watched their quarterback get carted off with an ankle injury or a foot injury. And yesterday, it was Jimmy Garoppolo going down with a broken foot, out for the season. And in comes the most relevant, Mr. Irrelevant, in the history of final draft choices of an NFL draft, period. Move over, Ryan. Suck up. You're no longer the most well-known Mr. Irrelevant. Brock Purdy. When we're sitting there in Las Vegas, Nevada, throwing it to the podium for the last pick in the draft, who the hell knew that the name Brock Purdy would come out of the mouth of whoever was making that announcement at the podium and then made the San Francisco 49ers, and then the guy who they just, as much as they liked him in training camp, the guy who they saw and said, we can't go into the season with him if we can go into the season with Jimmy Garoppolo, and struck that deal that we've been talking about for months because Trey Lance goes down in week number 2 and Jimmy Garoppolo makes it feel like it's a Super Bowl season all over again for the 49ers because the defense is doing what it's doing, and they add Christian McCaffrey to an offense that is so diversified, and Garoppolo is running so well and efficiently. That deal now has to go by the wayside, and it is Brock Purdy, who yesterday went 25 of 37 for 210 yards and 2 touchdowns and 1 interception against the Miami Dolphins, and he looked terrific. He made some tough throws, and he didn't turtle up in a huge game. The whole country's watching on Fox. It was their America's Game of the Week. I don't know what it was, but it was a huge audience and a huge game. A huge game. Certainly when we were all assuming, even though it was a much tougher contest that required a last-second touchdown by DK Metcalf for the Seahawks to get past the Rams, we were all assuming the Seahawks were going to get past the Rams, and they did. This is now a Super Bowl-ready team. We were talking about New York City with the Jets. They're a wild card-ready team, if not maybe a division-ready team before the team anybody thought could arrive as such. So they got to switch quarterbacks, and they did it of their own volition. Once again, second time this year, their starting quarterback goes down, and it's Brock Purdy. And just when you thought the Niners might not have any other options, and they're talking him up, and I don't blame them for talking him up, but, carriages turn into pumpkins real quick in the NFL, and glass slippers break real fast. And so even if Purdy goes down, which could happen because it looks like they've got a spinal tap drummer situation going on at San Francisco's quarterback spot. Look it up, kids. The drummer blows up all the time. Great movie, too. But so they got to have, who they signed Josh Johnson, who started, I think, for 90 NFL teams in his career.
Going to play longer than Brady.
They signed him off, I think, was it the Saints practice squad where he was sitting? Somebody's practice squad, doesn't matter. But they sign up. So just when you thought they have no other options, the Panthers go ahead and cut Baker Mayfield today. Because they told him he was going to be the third quarterback behind Darnold and Walker. And he's like, I don't want to do that. I want out of here. And they're like, there's the door. The day after Brock Purdy goes down. Now he's in, you can't just run and sign him. He goes on waivers.
I didn't know that till just now.
He goes on waivers.
Yeah.
And so the Niners are deep down the waiver wire list, as you might imagine an 8-14 would be. And if you are, say, the Seahawks,
Do you grab him just to?
if you're the Rams even, who lost out on Christian McCaffrey, and I would imagine your quarterback who just goes down with a spinal cord contusion, as was announced yesterday that Matthew Stafford has. I wouldn't play him again this year, but I'd welcome Baker. Hey, Baker, you want to come to Los Angeles? Run our offense? And just Les Snead just sits back and says, okay, so we lost out on McCaffrey to you. I mean, there could be some serious intrigue going on right now.
Did I see Wolford was limping yesterday during that Rams game?
I'm
too?
just saying this would be a fascinating waiver wire. I will be having my popcorn. I usually don't have my popcorn ready looking for transactions.
I'm going to fire up the Orville Redenbach.
I'm come across the email inbox, but this is huge. And again, the Niners will start Brock Purdy. It'll be his role. It'll be his gig. But if he goes down, wouldn't you rather have Baker Mayfield standing there? Don't you think you can coach him up pretty fast?
So, Rich, are you saying that someone's going to do a spite signing on Baker just to keep him?
Yes.
A spite signing, a spite waiver pickup.
Yes.
Spite waiver pickup.
Correct. It would be like, because, the Niners currently have the beans to win the Super Bowl. You might want to just say, we've got the beans. Mm-hmm. We've got the mugs that warm themselves.
That's right.
And the restrooms taken care of. We'll open up the Spite store right next to you. I can't wait for this. Oh, my gosh. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.